It looks like the midnight train to Georgia is about all that'll save us. Markets don't care. New all-time highs again. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 29th. My goodness gracious, how time flies. Well, I hope everybody had a great lockdown Thanksgiving. And, some told me they're putting paper cutouts around the table. It's obviously been a continuation of a very trying year. And obviously, it's not over yet. And of course, we've got the pandemic, which is really more of a political issue because, of course, the states that are closed are left and the states that are open are right. And, of course, the left wants some more bailout money, which, of course, you know who gets to pay for it, don't you? I hope you understand that all the stimulus, the taxpayers get to pay for it all. Okay, there is no free money. It's just the way they distribute it and the way they're printing it, which means that we, the middle class, pay for everything. Okay, it's that simple. You can look at it any way you want, but and I hope there is no more stimulus, which is why the Georgia election is going to be so important. Look, whoever you supported, obviously, both candidates had a record number of voters in this election in history. But at the end, whoever you supported is great, but nobody wants either party to have full control because lots of bad stuff happens when those are the circumstances. Now, I don't know where you sit with the AOC and Bernie Sanders of the world, but there will be a revolution in this country. You can bet on it that there will be another war inside this country, however they go about it. But you can already see a lot of the dissension growing. And of course, if they start giving anything away and start overtaxing, it's going to be an ugly one. Okay, you can bet on it. Now, as far as the election, like I said, look, I have not seen any proof yet. I keep hearing that there's proof. Okay, I've heard all the Sidney Powell stuff, the Kraken, everything. Again, show it, please. Nothing would make me happier to see this election result overturned and have those 5 states rerun. However, you haven't shown enough proof, and you're going to have to go beyond the proof to get it done because no judge is going to want to get involved, even with the majority being on the conservative side in the Supreme Court. So at the end of the day, again, we're going to have to live with whatever happens. So I'm hoping that Georgia at least splits so that we can at least have the safety net of split offices, because if it's not, the next 2 years are going to be long, going to be tough. Okay. And again, I can't imagine anybody who supports the far, far left policies all the way across. There's a few, but I can't imagine the masses. And we know that the president-elect is nothing more than a ventriloquist. I mean, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. Well, of course, Biden is Charlie McCarthy. He is being dictated and told what to do by others. He is not making any decisions as far as I'm concerned. But again, the election, as far as I'm concerned, I've moved on. I cannot rest and work and wait the rest of my life for a potential turnaround and an overturn. The odds of that happening are very slim. And personally, I am not interested in, again, I would love to see the proof. I am all for it. But at the end of the day, again, I have not seen anything yet. I've heard a lot of stories, but we'll let it go at that. But it is interesting, the paradox that has been created by the Federal Reserve. And again, this is such a hoax. When the Fed stimulates, the Fed is a horrible organization to begin with. They have done nothing but destruction since the day they were initiated, and with planning to do that type of destruction. I mean, this is not like an unplanned event. Again, I encourage you all to read The Creature from Jekyll Island. if you want to have an understanding of why it is I think about the things I do, because these things were written about long ago that what was going to happen and what was going to happen to the money supply and how this whole thing. And of course, when they went off the gold standard and went to total not digital, but fiat currency, oh my God, that every country manipulates, okay? And really all it's really doing is creating artificial wealth and artificial money, which someday it's got to pop. I mean, again, this is the problem that we keep forgetting about. That's why there should be no stimulus. Open up, let us go to work. Let people go to work, because stimulus does not enhance anything, okay? Stimulus just gives you an excuse to sit home on your lazy ass on the couch, not get out and go to work and get a job. So, again, the lazy Americans are getting back now if they keep stimulating it. They have to let the economy open. And again, if you're at risk, stay home. I mean, look, if you're not, then go to work. I mean, with masks and things, hey, that's what we have to live with today. That's what we got to live with. I mean, we know that the virus will eventually be solved. And we know that there's a vaccine, which will start in 2 weeks for the elderly and continue. And right now, I think we've got now 3 companies that now have a vaccine. So we're looking pretty good going forward. And let's face it, the highest amount of cases are 20 to 29. And those kids aren't staying home anyway. They don't care. And nor would I. Okay. If I wasn't in the high risk group, listen, I go out and I travel. It doesn't stop me from doing what I can. Unfortunately, right now, I can't do anything because where I live, it's shut down. Of course, a few cities have stepped up, and I think that's another sign of revolt. But at the end of the day, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to my other home. I don't care. Okay, I'm doing my seminar. They can say whatever they want. I'm going to continue to operate as normal. But the Fed, creates the illusion with all-time record highs in markets. And of course, look at the housing market. I mean, God almighty, it is scary what's going on in housing. Not because I don't want housing to be good. Listen, I was the benefactor. I made almost 40% in 16 months on a house. But that's not what I want, because again, we don't have jobs. We don't have people earning. We don't have economies open. How are we buying all these new houses? Yet we're at record sales once again. Again, the common sense to that says, how can that happen? Now, again, it will happen until it doesn't. But we know if you saw the movie The Big Short, if you remember what happened in 2008, if you remember what happened after the internet bubble, these bubbles cannot grow forever. They're not infinitesimal. They have to have a stoppage at some point. Nobody knows when that is, but they will stop. And they will make it ugly, and it's going to be a disaster. Versus just letting the economy do its thing. Asset classes themselves are very efficient at pricing themselves. But of course, we feel that there has to be help. And of course, because governments, okay, and this applies to both sides, they're so full of crap and they spend and spend and spend. Why aren't they on a budget? Yeah, I know they make a budget, but why aren't they required by law to stick to it? The only extra spending that should ever be done in a government is for those catastrophes, hurricanes, those types of things. Why are we allowing guys to continue to go over budget and not stay? Why are we allowing them to buy crap at ridiculously high prices to those of their friends? Because most of it's, by the handshake. There's always side deals going on both sides of government. Again, you know where I stand. I've always stood in that point. Okay, but we know they're just basically stealing the money. And why? I mean, why do we stand for it? That's the problem. I mean, we should not be dramatic over budget. Illinois just borrowed another $2 billion from the Fed. The third highest tax state in the nation can't survive. Well, that's because there's morons. Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago are both morons. Okay, they're clueless. Okay, and they don't care because they care. It's not going to affect them. So they just continue to borrow and borrow and borrow. And of course, I'm telling you, the poor teachers union here, I understand they have not contributed since the 90s. That's over 30 years. All right. So look, at the end of the day, this is going to be a mess. Now, again, I'm not predicting it, and we're long. Just when we get to our market, but you hear it every day. I tell you where we stand. And I'm not going to get out because I know what I think. I know I'm right. But I don't have to be right tomorrow. What you have to always remember is that you cannot time the overall market. And, the election fraud, hey, look, fraud has been going on forever. Okay. There's many election fraud stories, mostly on the left side. But again, I'm not accusing anybody here on where it is. I'm sure there was a lot of fraud. And obviously, the better technology gets, the more they can steal. That goes from your money to votes to whatever they did. Now, again, they have not shown me the proof. There's a lot of innuendo, and there are a lot of things to believe, like who owns the voting machine companies, which is true. But hey, look, please find it. Sidney Powell, quit telling me that you can do things. Let's see it already. What are we waiting for? If it's really legitimate and you really have proof, what are you waiting for? Okay. But, look, our Constitution is so far out of balance right now. This is not what our forefathers had intended. They are rolling over in their graves because big federal government was never the intention. Okay. Big federal government was never the intention of the actual Constitution. Everything is supposed to go city, county, state, and then the Fed to oversee. But for the Fed to be the size of it is, federal government is ridiculous. It's criminal. But of course, the only way you can change that is get off your ass and change it. But nobody everybody's happy with the status quo wherever you are. And that's always, listen, complacency is always an issue with everybody. Okay. But I think that one of the two biggest things I'm concerned about today, okay, is the Georgia election. Because again, I cannot stand, I have to live with it, but I cannot stand the thought of of Kamala Harris and AOC and Oman and all those others controlling our destiny for 2 years. Okay. So we need to block that. And my other concern is what is happening to the shale producers, because we're going to end up back again stuck in OPEC and stuck depending on those crooks and thieves that stole from us for all those years, okay, and held us hostage because they had the oil. We refused to take it out of the ground because there's enough oil in the United States of America to last us forever. But here we go. So again, hopefully this will resolve and we'll get the shale producers back and producing, and we'll get everything back to somewhat of an equal balance. In the meantime, again, this is what you have to look forward to. If things don't go right in January, and I'm not talking about the inauguration, I'm talking about the vote in Georgia, okay? We want to be on that midnight train. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horwitz. We're going to stop out here for a break, and we will be back with more in my market report after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, I do have other brokers. I always want to give you the full disclosure. I have many brokers, okay? But the two I prefer for commodities and futures, there is nobody like the CTG Group, okay? They are customer friendly. They answer your phone call when you have a problem. They help you set your account up if you'd like. They'll show you how to do an IRA and futures, which most don't understand. And, of course, they do our letter of direction trading. They're the only one authorized to do so. And we're really clamping down starting in the first year as well, because there are some that steal my signals and no more. They will be gone, and that will be the end of it. But again, at the end of the day, the CTG Group is it when it comes to commodities and futures. They do a terrific job, and they take care of our business and our customers and our members. And I cannot ask for more than that. And of course, our equity and options broker, Tradier, phenomenal. Again, the biggest thing is $10 a month. But think about this. They're going to offer now, okay, starting on January 9th, I'm giving a free options course to trade your people, okay? And again, they only charge $10 a month to begin with. And our products, in fact, I got the last is done, and I'm seeing the automated stuff work all by itself. It is so cool. I can't wait until everybody else can share it with me. But now you can have your entire portfolio, if you're with Trader, you can have your entire portfolio traded by our signals, trade our signals on time. You don't have to worry about what time you get out of bed. You don't have to worry about watching. Everything that we do, everything that I teach will be done. And it'll be fully 100% automated. And I'm so excited about it because everybody's going to love it. And now, again, if you don't want to be a trader and you want the signals, you can get by them. You don't have to go to Trader. I'm just saying, why wouldn't you for $10 a month? And of course, we're very happy and heavy into the agricultural field because, again, one of my dreams is to be able to help protect them. And not only, teach them how to hedge and take care of business, but also, teach them not to get screwed because the fact is they're too busy working the farm and they get taken advantage of, unfortunately. But of course, our friends at Family Farms are right in the same ballpark as I am. And of course, we formed a nice partnership with them. And they do such a good job looking out for farmers. Because again, listen, they're the hardest working Americans there are. They work zillions and zillions of hours a week. They risk millions of dollars every year to feed everybody. So you got to take care of them. And so again, it's my goal to help educate and, hopefully we can get out and I can start to visit and share and teach. But, again, I tell you that because it's important. And of course, our commodity report, Andy Hecht, who is a partner now of Boat Trading. Okay, we've got Dr. Fang and Andy Hecht. But again, the models that he writes and teaches and talks about, this goes directly from his experience in 40 years as a commercial trader, as a worldwide physical commodity trader, as well as the futures. And as you remember, at one time he was the biggest silver trader in the world. So I would say to you, listen, Technomental, it's a great report. Check it out. It uses our algorithms. That's one of the big changes we made with his fundamental data. So unbelievable report. And of course, our high school program, which I will finish the filming over Christmas, and we will have it up and running. And, basically, Bubba Trading or myself, I support it myself. I pay for all of it. And I've gotten some help from you over the years with Patreon. And it's an expensive process because I don't charge the schools. So if anybody wants to help out, great. If not, no worries. But it's Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with your host, me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday. It is November the 29th. And of course, markets, they know no boundaries, baby. We've had vaccine after vaccine come out in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and markets continue to skyrocket. And, all the major indices, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell were higher last week. Interesting enough, the Dow made a new high, and it made a new closing high. The Russell, which it was one time was the weakest, has now become by far the strongest and made new highs. The S&P was right there. And the NASDAQ will probably get there this week. Okay. Now they flagged, but of course they were the big leader at the beginning. In the meantime, we're still long across the board. We had an unbelievable week last week. And of course, we went through that big drawdown. And then the last 2 weeks, we've started to return. And of course, after every drawdown in the history of our company, we have had a run to new equity highs. And that's what we're looking for this time. In fact, everything we do last week was green across the board. And again, I'm all for my own members. That's what I care about. I care about success and I care about managing money because what we do is manage risk. In the meantime, the metals got crushed. And we wrote about it. Again, this is not a surprise. We've been short since August 12th, of gold and silver. Number one. Number two, I've told you repeatedly that they're going a lot lower. Now, again, doesn't mean I'm right, but that's what our signals tell us. That's what I write, and that's what the chart showed. And of course, we got the massive beatdown. Okay, and I think there's more. Unfortunately, I think there's more. And gold and silver look like they're in real danger. And they're probably going to close the month on a key reverse on a monthly basis, which is huge, which means lower yet. It's funny, though, because we're long platinum, and platinum had an up week. Interestingly enough. So we're short gold and silver, long platinum. Oil, as you know, I hate it, but it continues to spike higher. I mean, again, we're long, and I'm certainly not going to step in the way. But I'd rather be short, but listen, I never let my opinion get involved in my money. And it continues to go higher. And, I don't understand why. I mean, the logic behind it, the common sense behind it is, well, why would it go higher? There's not any demand. Yet, obviously, we're starting to run low on supplies, which makes prices go higher. And maybe there's more than I think going on. I don't know. I don't see it because half the states are shut down. But look, I'm not going to argue. I don't argue with price action. I don't argue with the algorithms. That gas, a little bit higher last week, but, this is getting pounded, and it will continue to get pounded. There's just such an oversupply. It's got really no chance. The biggest chance for net gas is always in the change of season after they've already burned off all the excess and have no excess. Now they got as much as you need. In the meantime, copper continues to explode too, which again, from a logic standpoint, you got to wonder why, but it is continuing to go massively higher. I mean, it's about ready to take out like 2 or 3 year highs. Again, we're long. So again, it's a good thing for us. Bond markets, bonds and notes have turned around, telling us that interest rates are going lower again. And we turned around. We made a lot of money on the short side. Now we're long. And they continue to spike higher. Look, I'm not a big fan of that either, right? I don't like the bond market either. I like being short bonds as well. But again, you can see it's obvious that the bubble builders, the Fed, and now with Janet Yellen there, you got the bubble builders in charge. You got double barrel bubble builders. Okay. As I said to somebody during an interview this week, I said, obviously, the Fed, obviously very smart people from an education standpoint, but they have no common sense. And even when you have common sense, once you go to the Fed, you become a dope. I mean, Jerome Powell was a regular street guy before he became the head of the Fed. Now he became a guy that don't know anymore. I mean, it's amazing how your common sense just slips away from you. In the meantime, it tells you that interest rates are still going lower. And again, that's sure part of the spark of housing, but you still got to make a living. There's still got to be jobs somewhere. All right. In the meantime, grain markets continue to go higher. Wheat is still the weak link here. And it's still always it's like every day in the danger of reversing, but it's managed to battle back every time. In the meantime, corn and soybeans, they keep going higher. Great. They're going higher. I think that's one sign you're also seeing about markets is when money starts to flow into the commodity space, some of the equity people are starting to move on. So we'll see. Again, they look great. And I did not forget to mention the dollar. The dollar got hammered again. Again, that 92 level is the key to watch. If it gets to there, it's probably going to 90 and probably lower. Again, I still don't understand why we want a weak dollar, but they keep telling me that's the right way. But of course, you're starting to see some more activity in the Bitcoin space or the crypto space, and that's telling you that many people are getting sick of it, and they're sick of the central bank intervention, and that's why they go to these cryptocurrencies because it's a way to get away from the devaluation. So it's a very important thing, and it's ugly. And of course, the meats, we're still in the same position: long cattle, short hogs. Again, cattle was up and as hogs were as well, but I do like hogs. I'm going to wait. We're going to get a signal change here soon. I'll wait, but right now that's where we stand. Again, I believe as soon as we can start to see some progress in the economy, that is very solid for the ag markets, and that will alleviate much of the oversupply, that we have. And of course, you've got some weather issues in other places now, so that's becoming a problem, and that's good for us right now. But again, we have not had any supply chain interruptions in the agricultural world for a long time, so if we get that, that's only a good thing for us because we've got plenty of supply. And the softs, they just keep going up. We're long across the board: cocoa, cotton, coffee, sugar, and OJ. Okay, now we were short a little bit, now we're long, and I mean, cocoa looks like it's going to Pluto. I guess a lot of chocolate for Christmas, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't matter. Again, wherever the price action leads us, that's where we're going to go. We do not care. All we care about is that we're on the right side of the market. Okay, and the right side is determined by the formula, the proprietary formula that we have with inside our algorithm. And obviously we hit it a 60% rate. We obviously know that drawdowns are part of business. And again, those who tell you not are full of crap and they're lying, because I don't care who you are. I've been doing this for 42 years. There's plenty of losers out there. And, no matter how good you are, you're going to find them. You can't help but step on a landmine here and there. But the key is always that you're managing your risk properly so that when you do hit the landmine, you don't get blown out of the water. That's, again, being in business is more important than being right sometimes, because sometimes you can go broke before you're right. So just always keep that in mind the next time you get a little stubborn and decide that you know more than the markets, because the markets are always right and opinions never are. Okay. But we've seen a real decline in liquidity, which we're going to talk about in our commentary. But volume keeps falling, liquidity is getting worse, and basically they're shutting out a lot of the small traders out of this market, which I think is another criminal event. But of course, that's part of my commentary as well. We'll get there, but it does not do the market any good. And that is another, and again, it doesn't affect what we're doing today, but it's another thing that just goes in the back of my mind saying, okay, so these things are starting to add up to a much bigger problem when it decides to rear its ugly head. Now, we will be great. When we get that big down move, we're going to get it. We're going to be short by that time. Okay, now we won't get the beginning of it, but we will get it. And again, the next one I believe will be a nasty one, and we'll be in it for 80% of it. And again, I'm not excited to see markets collapse because I never want to see innocent people get destroyed, because it'll happen. But I think that obviously it'll be very good when it does happen. We do well in all markets, but we know the speed in which they go down is a little bit faster than the speed in which they go up. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Orridge. We're going to step out here for our final break and also come back with my commentary for the week after the break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. And of course, I talk to you about family farms all the time. Great partners, great people. We're aligned in our philosophy that we need to help and take care of those in the agricultural field, because again, they're so busy working that whatever they can learn to help them do better, because there's a lot of things that they miss because they're just too busy and don't have time to focus on it. And we want to make sure we educate, because what we do is very basic and very simple and very easy. So, and it's going to be a great thing. I can't wait till their February event. I'm hoping it'll be in person, but I'm going to bet it'll be another online event, but eventually we will get out. And of course, our brokerage partners, I talk about them all the time, but I do have other brokerage accounts, just to be clear. But, for our letter of direction trading and futures and commodities, CTG Group is the main place. I would never go anywhere else for that. And even my own, listen, they trade my accounts. Okay. I have all of my accounts, but one are on letter of direction trading with CTG. They're the only authorized vendor of our product. Okay. And, there's others that have tried, and I'll catch them and I'll show them down. But they are wonderful. And again, when the markets are busy and crazy, you get a problem, they answer the phone. You have to wait 3 hours. Traders the same way. They had a problem. They were down a couple of days ago or a week ago, whatever it was, and they had a problem. People call, boom, had an answer. They knew it, and bang, they were back up and running. Unlike others that you don't hear from and you can't get a hold of them. Okay. In the meantime, they're $10 a month. They had great customer service. They're going to give away a free options program starting January 9th. Okay. I'm giving it, so I know it's January 9th. And we have their APIs. We have just finished. Well, I didn't do the program. My programmer just finished the whole series. Now, personally, Monday, I will start 100% auto trading, because I test everything myself first before I let anybody else use it, make sure there's no issues. But it's going to be exciting. And again, you don't have to go auto. You can stay and get the signals just like now and trade wherever you're trading. Again, we don't care where you trade. I just want to save you money. My goal is to get you the best values everywhere. That's what I like to do. And of course, our commodity report, speaking of value, is an unbelievable value at $129 a month or $1,200 a year. Listen to me. If you are a commodities trader or you're interested, it is by far the most comprehensive. You get a weekly report on Wednesday and a summary on Friday, and the quarterlies are like reading a novel. Now, again, I'm not a big reader, but the information, even I read them because the information is so pertinent, okay, to what is happening in the commodity world. It's called Technomental. It's at BUBBATrading.com. And of course, our high school program at Patreon. Again, we're just building it, rebuilding. I want to educate America's youth. I really feel, because I've been so fortunate that I want to help. And, it gets expensive when I'm paying for it all myself. And I do get some help from those at Patreon. And again, if you want to help us, it's Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 29th, and I get football tonight too. It's football, and turkey. But, I got to tell you something. I keep hearing the stories of regulators and what they're supposed to be doing for us, and supposedly they always have our best interest. Okay. Well, we talk about the lack of liquidity. Do you know why there's a lack of liquidity in the market? Because the brokerage houses, okay, the big wigs, okay, I'm not going to name names, but you can figure out who the big wigs are. There are big wigs and there's introducing brokers, okay? We only use the introducing brokers. We don't use the big wigs because they have one interest, and that is to have your money in their account, because that's where they really make their money. So they are preventing you from participating in a market, okay? And that goes for all of them. I mean, from the FINRA, $5,000 a week, three day trades. Why? What do they care? Okay. What effect does it have on FINRA? Why is it a regulation that you must have $25,000 in your account to be a day trader if you want to try to day trade? I mean, that is so counterintuitive to what is going on. So where is the help? Where is the help for the trader? Where is the help for the investor? Okay. The way that I read these regs and what they do, it's only to help the exchanges and the brokers. Where is the help for the trader, the investor? Okay. I mean, that's where I don't see. So, I hear about regulations. But where are they in our favor? From government regulations and everything that we do, where are they to help us? Remind me again. Why not? For example, why isn't pot legal in 50 states? Why is it not federally approved so they could actually let these funds participate and then tax it? Okay. But of course, that would be too simple. Why did they make it so hard for gambling institutions? I mean, gambling is illegal in 50 states. The Supreme Court ruled that you can have a casino in all 50 states. The only thing that is preventing that right now, especially sports wagering, is that the governments and the regulators want too much money. They want more than these guys make. Okay. Bookmaking is not a hugely profitable business on a bet. They are only making a percentage. They need a lot of handle. But in the meantime, from trading to everything else, I thought the regulators were there to defend us. But you can see that they've destroyed the free market system because of the regulations. They've taken out all the small traders because of their new margin requirements. Okay. They take away day trading from guys who have less than 25,000. So where is the help from regulators? Yet you have all this garbage advertising out there promising you billions for nothing. To me, that's the stuff that should be stopped. Okay, we tell it like it is. We tell you there's drawdowns. We told you at our worst weeks ever. Look, I don't want to attract those that think that there's $1 billion waiting out in the pile. I want those that want to learn and understand how to grow it and how to stay in the markets. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. And of course, we got football. Can't pass without a football game, right? A lot of football on the weekend, but this coronavirus, man. And the poor Pittsburgh Steelers, look, I know they're men. I know they get paid a lot of money, but they've been screwed in every part of this coronavirus. Now, they missed their bye week. But anyways, tonight we got the old GOAT, Tom Brady, against the new GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, in 3.5. Kansas City's a 3.5 point favorite over New England. Over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been very disappointing. Tom Brady has been very disappointing, quite frankly. He's had some good games, but overall he's been fairly disappointing. I don't know if he's going to get it up here for one more game. It's too tough a game to make any large wager on. Okay. However, I am going to go with the young gun here because I think he's better. I think they're a better team. I think they get a better shot. But again, I would not get crazy here. I mean, maybe 2 pizzas and a beer, whatever it is of a small wagering type. I'm going to go with KC. I'm not overly confident. Of course, I've been confident and got cracked too. So, but I just think that Tampa Bay has not really established, and they got moved to this game because of certain things, and they took games off. And in case they put the Bears Green Bay game back there, I don't know how you can like the Bears. So, but what can I tell you? In the meantime, everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy, stay healthy. I hope you had a great holiday. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow.